Right, here we go. Just making a lot of people ask for this one to be recorded. So I think Aaron's a popular guy. So we've got we're going to record this one and put this one on YouTube. So we'll just give him a couple of minutes. I know he's here already, but we'll just let the people that want to view it view it. Evening, Dave. Here he is.
Hey, how you doing, mate?
All right, pal, you?
Yeah, good. Good, not too bad.
Long time no see.
Yeah, keeping well?
Hey, I don't think anyone's keeping well. We're just battling on, I think. You know what I mean?
Hey, I've got to admit, I've quite enjoyed it. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, it's just when you're like obviously with the shooting lessons and stuff, obviously we're lucky with the business, but a lot of the shooting instructors, you just stop earning completely, you know, it's just gone.
Oh, yeah.
It's just gone bump.
That's true.
I've enjoyed the time at home, don't get me wrong, but I'm, lucky that we've got other avenues that help out, otherwise it'd be a bit, it wouldn't be ideal, but we're going to have a big following, mate. We've got lots of people sent questions in for you, so you're obviously a popular man.
Crikey.
So we'll give Aaron a little bit of an intro. I have spoke to him earlier today. So in the world of Olympic trench and the ISSF, the world rankings are quite important. In sporting, they're not so important. But Aaron is a former world number one, Commonwealth Games record holder, 4 Commonwealth Games medals, European bronze medal, European silver medal, European World Championship bronze at the World Cup events. Now, what a lot of people don't understand about a World Cup event, it's almost as big as a World Championship. You've got everybody there. It's a huge, huge deal in the world of ISSF. We've got 2 golds in those. We've got 2 bronzes in those. And we're not going to bother with the domestic title because we've run out of time. So, so all in all, he knows which endpoint's where.
Yeah, but look, probably more luck than judgment, I've got to admit.
Well, you've been lucky a lot of times, mate. So used to.
Yeah. No,
and like I put in my post, we spoke to some greats of the sport, and we'll get into them later on. But you've been doing this for decades. You've been at the top of British shooting. And I remember your dad taking you round when you've been there for many times.
12 years old, yeah.
So
it's been a long time, and it's the weirdest part was getting to about 28 years old, and just for a section of my life, I didn't know really where it went.
Yeah.
Because just doing the same thing, year upon year, it was just mind blowing. Where did that go?
I had a bit of a regroup with some mates years ago, and we sat down. They were talking about the child, and I was like, no, that wasn't mine.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
I was walking from one bus stop to another bus stop to get to Kidworth to practice. There was no. It was very, very different. So I know you've got work this evening, mate. So I'm not going to. We are going to try and rattle through. So guys, obviously we've got a big name. Aaron can afford the wireless headphones. I've actually got them, but Harriet's nicked them. So we're right, mate. Let's get into it. We'll get into the shooting side of things shortly about your titles and how you feel. But everybody's going to ask the same question: what gun do you shoot? What choke do you shoot? What shells do you shoot?
Okay, so I shoot a Beretta DT11, and it's just a standard 3/4 full configuration and barrels. And I shoot Fiocchi official trap. I'll cross between Fiocchi officials and a Fiocchi golden.
That's the blues. That's the blues and the whites, isn't it?
Exactly right. Yeah. And they're sponsored by Laporte as well. So very lucky there.
On the gun change, now you were with a different company for years, weren't you?
Yeah, I was with a company called Renata Gamba.
Yeah, no, I knew you was with Gamba for many years.
Yeah, I was with them. I think it was probably over 15 years.
Yeah, I know, it was a long old time.
And just an incredible family. They treated me like part of the family.
They're good people too.
Yeah, no, lovely.
So, when did you swap to the Beretta?
So officially it was the start of January 2014.
Right. So it's been 6 years. It doesn't seem like that long. I remember you changing.
No,
It doesn't seem
exactly.
it doesn't seem like that long at all.
Yeah, and changing from completely different types of guns really. I thought was going to be a bit of a struggle, but I was treated really well at Beretta, and they just said, "Look, we've been making guns for a couple of years, believe it or not, and so we think we know what you're going to need." And I was like, "Okay," and I just put my trust in their hands.
Yeah.
And they gave me the gun, had got the stock done and everything like that, and it was brilliant. It really was. I think the first World Cup straight after that was in America, and in Tucson, and I was shooting off with Alipov for bronze. In my first one.
I think I remember the moment you got it. It was instant success because I remember thinking, "Oh, I wonder if that'll take him any time." And then I remember reading it in the magazine. It was just instant, weren't you? You were just up and running straight away.
Yeah. It was great. It really was. And just really lucky because I've known some top shooters that it's taken a long time.
And some go back.
Exactly right. Yeah. I didn't want to say that, but yeah, they struggled and have gone backwards. But
because I've got you on today. I've been watching ISSF all day, watching your finals, trying to understand. So just so it makes the interview more interesting. And I heard that on there that the superstar from Spain, is it Fernandez?
Yeah, Fernandez. Yeah, Alberto Fernandez.
He said the same thing. He swapped to a one, and then he went back to his old gun. Just nope, this ain't working, and I'm going back. Yeah. I think it was the same company, but he went back to his old gun, just like nope, this ain't working.
Exactly right.
And I'm going back to my old gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting when you just don't want to let go of something. I think a lot of it can be mental in a shooter.
That was my thing. Of course, first and foremost, loyalty. It's huge. It's always there. The company that I was with before looked after me, but life changed, and I needed to make a living.
Yeah, definitely.
And things like that. So it was a welcome change, something different, and it gave a new lease of life for shooting as well. Yeah. In all fairness.
So we've got a couple of questions popped up already. Do you find your Fiocchi pattern well in the DT11? Well, if patterns well enough to win medals.
Definitely right. Yeah, 100%.
What barrel length and weight do you shoot? Do you know? Obviously, you know what barrel length.
They're 29.5.
Yeah.
And the weight's 1580s.
See, I couldn't believe it when Diamond told me the weight of his gun.
Yeah, so it's a heavy beast, that one, definitely.
My good. We'll get into Diamond later on. I've got him some questions for you. So we have one guys, because when we have these interviews, people want to know what inside leg you've got, what colour shoelaces you use, which leg you put in your pants first. Someone's just said there, don't forget to ask him what lenses he uses. Well, skipping on from that, I've had a question sent into my Facebook today. Malta 2018 is the shoot where you won gold, I believe.
Yeah.
I've been told, I don't know. I tried to find it online, couldn't find it. The conditions were horrendous, windy, and then apparently the final got very dark.
Yeah.
But whoever it is has noticed that you did not change lenses throughout the whole shoot.
No.
So he wants to know why.
So, Malta presented itself with its own unique challenges. There was, the ground spent over $1 million in wind defences and sound barriers, and it all blew away on that first shoot. And you just see people just with their head in their hands, just walking around like, what the hell's going on? And these people have, and I just thought, what is the big problem? And with those glasses, they're Zeiss, and they're made in 1970, believe it or not. And I just don't know what it is, but those lenses are just brilliant. I can't find anything that compares with it today. And it was just, I could just see them so well. Even though the light went, I just saw them so well. And I just thought, well, if it isn't broken,
keep going,
I'll change it.
Rattle on.
Yeah, exactly right.
But I think it's quite important that it's amazing when people come on, that they don't realise just how much people follow their careers. Someone's actually studied that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Someone's actually looked at that. When we had Diamond on the other day, he was actually shocked at how many people wanted to hear about his story. So, why are we talking about Michael Diamond? You know him. I speak to Michael about stuff outside the sport, the shit that we've done that matches up. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know him like you know him.
Yeah.
Tell us about him. You've competed against him. You've beat him. You've been beat by him.
Yeah. And in all honesty, I miss the guy. It's a since Michael has not been in Olympic trap, there's been a hole.
Because he actually messaged me and asked me to record this for him. He speaks highly of you. Wanted to say hi, and he wants to see. He wanted me to record it. That's why I thought, well, if he speaks that highly of you, I just wanted to get your insight on him.
Jesus. Well, you know, when you meet someone like Michael, it sounds really weird, but I just don't know what to say to the guy sometimes. You know, apart from like the hello, because I'm in awe of him.
Yeah, I was exactly the same. I was like, "Speak, Ben, speak."
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, and God, what he's done for the sport, and not just him. There's a few others, but there's a unique few that have just put this. I strongly feel that we still got shooting in the Olympics because of him. He's one of the people for it.
Really?
Yeah, I really do.
Talking about Olympics. What's the thoughts?
No man's land is the thoughts at the moment, isn't it? It's God, you think it's been a roller coaster with emotions these last few months with it, because obviously we still don't know. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
we don't know. We get updates from British shooting. You know what's on the horizon with what's coming from the IOC and stuff, but nothing's ever concrete, is it? You know, it's a tough sort of time. Coming with selections for the team was coming up in a couple of months. No, within a couple of months, and so now everything's being pushed on 12 months. So are we going to still know? Is it what's going to happen? So, truth be told, it's been a few sleepless nights.
What's your thoughts on it? Talk us through the elation first.
Well, the elation first is the fact that winning, because I quite understand some people don't actually know that.
Explain it from the beginning.
To qualify for an Olympics, you have to win the country, which is really important. The country, something called a quota place, and it's basically tickets allocated to certain shoots, and where you have to win it or beat someone that hasn't got one. And if someone has got one, it goes down to you.
So you could come third. The two people above you have already got one, so you can get the quota place.
Exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly right. And I was very lucky enough in last year.
Let's drop the word luck.
All right. Yeah. Cause,
we don't use the word luck on here. There's no luck involved.
I've got to admit, I'm pretty superstitious as well. So yeah, but no, got the quota place in Lenato last year at the European Championships, and firstly, that was such a weight off my shoulders because it was something that I wanted to do. You know what I mean? It's something for so many years. It's because I wanted to win something for my country. I wanted to give something back to my country, because my country has given a lot to me. And I'm very, very well aware that whoever wins the quota place is not necessarily allowed to go.
But okay, it's not. It doesn't happen often, does it? I only know twice. I only know twice, and when it's ever happened.
Exactly right. Yeah. In our lifetimes, that is true. But if I can continue with the trend of shooting pretty well, there should be no reason why not to go.
And as I spoke to Matthew the other week, do you see it as another year to just be a better shooter when it comes round? Or are you ready to go? Is it like, oh, damn, I'm ready and I've got to... What's your thoughts?
My thoughts is I'd like to say that I'm pretty consistent. You know, every time I go out, I know that you've got to achieve a certain level to get a certain place.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty confident that I can go out and do it. You know what I mean? And I know with the Olympic sort of stuff, there's probably 110 other men that think they can do that too.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, when it comes down to the qualification, I know that with that little bit of confidence inside that, I can get on and do it, and let's try and get in the final and entertain some people.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, isn't it, with Olympic trap now? It's you just got to make that final.
Yeah.
And then
the best way to compare
and then it's game on.
It's like Formula One.
Yeah.
It's just like Formula One. You get your qualification, and that 6-man final is the race. That is it.
Everyone I've watched, so I've been watching them back from 2010, where it was 125 plus a final, add it together, winner comes out. And what the pattern that you do notice, though, it's quite difficult for. It's very rare that the number one guy going in wins it.
Nowadays, that is true.
You know, I just watched that Fernandez come from 6th and just spanked everyone.
Exactly right. Yeah, because it's in some sort of respects. I find that some people think that when they're in first place, they're looking behind.
Yeah. Who's coming?
Exactly. Yeah. So I've always felt a very strong position, no matter where I am in the finals.
And I think that's quite different to the mindset between me and you from sporting to Olympic trap final. Is like somebody says to me, "Oh my God, you're 2 in front with a day to go," and I'd rather be 2 in front than 2 behind.
Oh yeah,
but
exactly
in that final when it's completely level,
0.
You know, sometimes it's easier to reel in than
exactly.
I think the mindsets will be quite different from where you are and where you would be.
Yeah.
You know, people say to me, like, "Did you feel any pressure? You're winning." I was like, "No. The guy in second's feel. If I don't miss, he can't catch me. It's quite simple."
Exactly right.
But with a final, it's quite difficult because you'd think I would have thought that the number one guy will go last, but he goes first, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you know, I'd have thought
it's a funny situation because someone can come into the final shooting at 116 out of 125,
and the other guy shots 125.
Exactly right.
Well, look at Diamond at London.
You hit the nail on the head. Yeah. You know, and I saw that interview with Michael, and I completely understand where he comes from. You know what I mean? When you're in that final, you only want to go away with one colour. You know, and I'm not saying that it's right if you should never throw anything away.
No, definitely not because you're sponsoring stuff. But
yeah, exactly. But I completely sympathise with him when it was. You know, I've been in a couple of finals, and I only wanted to come.
Yeah, mate, you've been in more than a couple of finals. I'm looking at the list. There's more than 2 finals here, mate. I can see there's more than 2 finals. We can definitely get onto that. So, Christine keeps piping up. Ask him about bib numbers.
Yeah. So
before we do that, you're gonna have to explain how it works, mate. I understand it. But people aren't going to understand what the bib numbers mean. If you can just rattle that off.
So basically, bib numbers is when there's people tied on the same score. Say if there's 2 people on 118 and they're in 5th and 6th position. Well, to get the back numbers now, you have to shoot off to who's in 5th and 6th place. So there's actually shoot-offs before the shoot-off. The final. Exactly, yeah. And especially if there's 7 people shooting for 6th place.
Yeah, 5 and 6 you're going home.
Exactly right. Yeah. So bib numbers is really important, and if there's a tie during the final, where I've been caught on the bad side of it, and sometimes on the good side, if the scores are exactly the same in the final, goes back down to bib number.
So if the guy with number 2 on his back has shot 14 out of 15, and the guy with 6 on his back has shot 14, and they're the lowest, number 6 goes. He doesn't get a shoot off. He just walks.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's just done and gone.
It's cruel.
But it does also make the 1-2-5 important, doesn't it? And I think you know it keeps that you know, okay, you can still win it, but if you did shoot 1-2-4. It does actually count for something. You are getting some recognition for what you've achieved. So right, coach is the next one. Who's your coach?
Yeah, Christine. Yeah,
we're going to speak to him afterwards. So be nice.
He did say that. He has actually threatened me as well. Yeah.
How long have you worked with Chris?
Oh, it's going to be coming up 4 years.
I know Chris. I remember him from when I was missing a lot of Olympic trench.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I've he doesn't know I'm going to say this, but truthfully, he actually he come along at a very important time where I was actually thinking of chucking a towel in.
Yeah.
And he has actually kept me going in this last cycle, really. And phenomenal guy, in my opinion. You know, he's been great for me.
Good man.
He really has.
And I think if you got to somebody that didn't have that, them words to say about their coach, they're with the wrong coach.
Yeah,
I think that's important because I speak to some people and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm coached by so and so." Well, it's a bit of a well, you're in the wrong one because if you've not got that respect and you're not looking up to somebody, then the coach is not going to push you forward. He's actually just going to become and gnaws.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, and they're probably in a more difficult position than what we are because they sit there.
Yeah, coaching's horrible. Coaching's horrible. You just sit there and when we spoke to Alan Warren about it, you know, he said you were the greatest team that he's ever sat by, and he said the same thing. You just sit there and you can't have any. It's the same as rugby coaching. You can tell them what to do, but you can't make them do it.
No.
So role models is the next question.
Oh. Role models. I'm a bit of a weird one, really, because I was quite a big fan of, and I love the story of Nicky Lauda.
Yeah.
You know, that was one of the really funny ones, but I really took to because the guy crashed, burnt in his car, and still go up and go and win the World Championships the next year.
Yeah.
So if you ever want to hear a story of you think you can't do it, just Google or listen. Unfortunately, he passed away last year. And I don't know, like Lewis Hamilton really, you know, was really good friends with him.
He's racing for Ferrari by the looks of it.
Who's that?
Hamilton.
Oh God, don't say that.
No, it says honestly, Hamilton one way and the German back the other. Just been reading about it now.
Oh God!
Yeah,
literally,
the last 10 minutes I was on Sky, and that's what came up: Hamilton to Ferrari, and what's his name back the other way.
No.
Yeah.
Oh well, that'd be an interesting season next year.
That's what I've just been reading about. This one's going to be dead easy to answer.
Yeah.
Goals. We all know where it's going to go. We've got one. I'm sure you've got one in the horizon.
Yeah, definitely right. Yeah, without a doubt.
I know it's difficult, and I don't have people that I fear, but I like to ask this to all of the top shooters that come on because, and I'll say it again, I say it every time. I don't fear anybody. I don't fear anybody in shooting.
Yeah, no, exactly right. Yeah.
But if you're in a shoot-off, Foles is phenomenal, and you've got to be on your mettle to beat him.
Yeah.
Who would you not fear but have that respect for at the top, apart from your wife?
For me, is another guy is Palelio.
Yeah, just been watching him too.
Yeah, just when you see the guy around the shoots, he's so methodical. He's such a gentleman, and when you get into the shoot with him, you just know he's relentless.
Yeah, and because he was a multidiscipline, wasn't he? He was double trap and
I think in
Olympic trap at the beginning.
At the beginning, but definitely the past 30-something years, he's definitely been
just smashed the Olympic trap.
Exactly.
But he never got that Olympic gold, did he?
No, not yet.
He's got 3 silvers, didn't he? I think it was. I've just been when he came on.
Yeah, and I think there's bronze in there as well. Yeah. No, he's just a machine. He really is. And just the fact that what he portrays is a team. Is Italy?
Isn't he a policeman or something as well?
Or
was it like the police team or something like that, or whatever it was?
Yeah. The Italian shooters, if you represent Italy in the national team, you get to go into get support from like your police, military. You get to choose which one you go into and everything like that to help with income and everything like that. So they're really well looked after. And for him, I think it was something to do with the prison service,
right?
But he's also.
If I'd have been Italian, I might have met him
as well.
If it was a priest, I definitely wouldn't have met him. That's for sure. Talk us through a regular Aaron Heading practice session.
Wow, it varies. It varies. If I'm on my own, you got to kind of listen to what I need. Sometimes, if I know that I've got a bit rusty on a certain target, then I will go and practice it.
Knock it out of the park.
exactly. Until I'm happy that it's not, and it's you got to understand when you call for a target, it doesn't present itself with fear, but you just have that. Oh,
Shit.
it's that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that one. So you want to beat that out really, and that's the thing.
Cool.
But go on.
No, you carry on, mate. This is your gig.
Yeah, but training it can vary from putting some lead down the barrel to not actually doing much at all.
I was super shocked when Diamond said he practiced once every 6 weeks.
Yeah, I can believe that. Yeah, if you know, because I think this game's a confidence thing.
Yeah, massive.
If you know that when it comes to your turn on that peg, that you've got what it takes to go,
you're all good.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you're good to go.
Exactly. Yeah.
An amount of shells per year. Everyone wants to know that.
Yeah. Mine's got certainly less the last couple of years.
Wife again.
Good. That's 50, 60,000. You know, round about. Nowhere, obviously, near it this year.
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
But I think last year it was probably a little bit more, knocking on the 70,000 last year. But before that, I had some crazy years. You know, being a part of when British shooting was based in Italy, basically.
Ballistic, yeah.
Yeah, I had some crazy years of shooting some stupid amounts. But now I've learnt the lessons and know what understood training.
Let's pull some questions off here. Do you shoot any other disciplines?
Not properly. I play around. It's nice to just shoot something different now and again, without a doubt. I never sway towards the sporting now. I think that's a bit too far out of my depth.
Yeah, you got to shoot in front of them, pal. Hey, Aaron, would you rather shoot first or second in a shoot-off?
God, that's a tough one. I like both. Sometimes it's nice to go first. Sometimes I know.
My answer to that would be that you've got to master both because you've got no control of it.
Yeah, exactly right.
You've got to be you've got to be able to do both.
I enjoy shoot-offs.
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
That's why we shoot. That's why we shoot, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's why we do it.
Your heart is in your mouth.
Yeah,
and God, you feel alive. That's what I love about it.
Yeah. So yeah, I think my answer to that would be if you like to go first, you get to the Olympic gold medal shooter for your second.
Yeah.
You've got to be ready to do both, and I'm the type of competitor that I'd want to do the one that I don't like the most to fix it. That'd be my mindset in it.
Yeah.
Question from Scott here. What's your thoughts on Michael Diamond coming back into competitive shooting?
I can't wait. I really can't. I'd love to see it. I really would.
We're going to take a little bit of a break from the Aaron Heading and tell us about your shooting ground, mate.
Okie dokes. Yeah. So the shooting ground's over in Sutton Bridge in Lincolnshire. And it's called the Priory.
Mountainous, being in Lincolnshire.
Exactly right. Yeah, flat as well and everything like that.
What disciplines do you have there, mate?
Ski, down the line, ball trap, and when it's working, the high tower as well.
Yeah.
But we're more the down the line and skeet route down.
What days you open?
Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
And do people just bowl up, mate, or is it by appointment or?
No, they can just turn up and come and enjoy themselves.
And you are quite active on social media with that, aren't you? You can get quite a good following of what you've got coming up. That must be the missus, not you.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Yeah, that's
but 100%. But it's one of the shooting grounds that inform you. You don't have to go searching for them to let you know it's quite good, guys. Follow. What's the Facebook page? If you just tell Tash to type it up on here, and I'll pin it.
Yeah, there you go. She's watching.
Yeah, if she puts that on there, and I'll pin it at the bottom, then people can have a look at it. Is your gun balance stock heavy, barrel heavy, or neutral?
Neutral. You can near enough balance it on a knife edge.
Right in the middle, yeah. Has your ground got an Instagram account? It certainly does.
It has, yeah.
If she types all this up in one message, I'll pin it.
Yeah.
So that's good, guys. Support Aaron's ground. It is. I don't think I've shot there since Aaron's had it. But definitely go and pay that a visit and have a look. Talking of shooting grounds, your favourite and your least favourite.
My favourite in the world is definitely Leonardo.
Diamond said the same.
just purely on the fact of its heritage and its the aura that it's got.
It's a big old place.
It's the biggest stage, biggest stage for us. It's where all the manufacturers are, and it's just a phenomenal place. It's brilliant,
and it's quite important that when you bowl up there, I've only been there for the European FITAS they had there a few years back, but I got there a little early to give some lessons, and there was an Olympic trap training day. Dude, they can all shoot.
Yeah. The biggest training day ever, turning up there for the first time thinking, I've got a GB flag on my back. Here we go. And then in their like D class, I was just like, and he shot 24, 20, because they do competitions like that, 50 there.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm sitting all right on like 46, and then 49. And this is in their bottom class, and I was just like, okay.
I couldn't believe it, mate. You could pick one of 300, and they just shot 49 in front of us all. You're like,
yeah,
what?
Exactly right. Yeah, and you're not even on the first 2 pages if you haven't got 49.
They could just pick anybody to rattle them off.
Yeah.
When you hit world number 1, did you feel extra pressure?
I actually felt the pressure came off.
Okay.
Because it was something that I was. If you're in sport, it's got to be one of the things that you want to strive to be.
It's
world number 1.
It's the pinnacle, isn't it?
Exactly, and to get there after so many years, it was such a relief. It was such a relief. It really was.
And how did you find out you were world number 1?
When it got put on to the ISSF website, and it just went crazy. People just saying you're world number 1, and I didn't actually believe him for a start. Chris actually phoned me and he says, "Have you checked the website?" And I was like, "No, why?" He says, "I think you better check it." And I was like, "No, I'm busy." And he says, "No, check the bloody website." And I did, and it was just there, and it was just like, I can't believe it.
No, it's a big deal in what you do.
Yeah, it was. As I say, I got to admit, I was in tears. It was just,
and I think it's like,
and
it's like people look at me and they think, oh, he's this and he's that and he's big and he's Mate, when I won that first world championship, we, I was crying. I didn't know why.
Yeah.
I'm like, somebody better.
It just comes over you.
Yeah, can somebody just turn these off, please? Because I look like a tit.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
So, right, the big question everyone wants to talk about. It's been asked 4 or 5 times on here already because I've ignored it because it's on my list here. The single barrel final.
Yeah.
So obviously, and Michael was very honest about it, he was crap at single barrel.
Yeah.
He made his score up with a good second barrel.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
What's your thoughts on it? How? And I know, and don't worry about being big-headed because you're going to be compared to me, and you'll never win that race. Was your single barrel always good? Did you have to put more work in? How did you work around the mental strain of it only having one cartridge? Just talk me through that process.
Well, I've always been a strong believer that I'm one of the strongest single barrel shooters in the world. So when it turned to that single barrel, it was just a massive tick in my box.
Yeah.
And also when it changed to everyone on a level playing field. In my qualifications, it's normally a surprise if a second barrel in qualification. It's for me. So the finals, it just feels like it was written for me. Do you know what I mean?
Okay,
it was just like, I absolutely love it, Ben. Because everyone's the same. No one can. That element of luck is taken out more, because it's just that one shot, and you can. Don't get me wrong. You can very easily fall apart, and without no fault of your own, or the feeling of realizing it. But also, you can achieve some greatness in that final as well.
That's interesting because Michael's answers were the exact opposite, weren't they? You could see he just really, when it happened, he was like, "Nah,
yeah,
I've done 2."
Yeah, exactly.
And I love the guy to bits, as people know, but it was horrible to watch the London Olympics.
Yeah.
1, 2, 5, and then it was just well. I remember once I was shooting Olympic trench, and there was a Britain's selection shoot down at South Wales 2000, and if I'd have been shooting on my own, then buzzer sounded like the national anthem.
Yeah, South Wales. Yeah, I know exactly what.
But I shot 25, 25, 24, and then I think I shot a 13.
Yeah.
And I came off, and because it's me, everybody was stood there waiting, right? And I was like, here we go. So before I come off, the dude that owns the place there, I took a fiver out.
Mike.
I took a fiver out of my pocket, and I said, there you go, Mike. He went, what's that for? I said, the extra electric I used on that buzzer. And just, and just walked past. I took the piss out of myself before anybody could take the piss out of me. It sounded terrible. Okay, the most interesting thing about Olympic trench, the mental side of things.
Yeah.
Everyone's interested at the minute in pre-shot routines.
Yeah.
Obviously, pre-shot routines in Olympic trench are very different. You fire a shot and then you wait and 5 others take one, and then you take one, or 4 others take one, dependent on where you are. How do you occupy your mind? What pre-shot routines do you go through? And what have any failures made you stronger?
Oh God, yeah, I wouldn't be who I am without failing, and still do, without a doubt. If you don't learn from losing, ultimately that's what it is. If it is losing, then
I've always said that you either win or you learn. There's no such thing as losing. You win or you learn.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's where Chris comes in. In all fairness, because without. And again, I don't mean to sound big-headed, because you get to a certain point.
Dude, you're going to the Olympic Games. How the hell are you going to sound big-headed?
Technically, what can I learn? What can I learn technically? But when you've got a coach, sometimes it's just that voice of reason.
Yeah.
Just to say, look, this is what I see. You may not agree with it. You may agree with it, but you need to crack on now and get that out of your head and go forward and just get back onto the routine. I swear by my routine. If I ever come, off the wheel, off the wagon, it's that repetitive motion of going through what I do between the pegs, going onto the peg. And if people ask what do you do, well, it's kind of weird because when I'm in that moment, I actually don't know. And I think to get to that point, exactly, and to get to that point,
that's a serious place to be, though. When your ability is to go zoned out, that's not something you learn. That's a lengthy process.
That's where I think a lot of people falter. It's because they're trying to look for something, trying to feel for it, and the only way, me personally, to get it is shoot competitions. Yeah. Sometimes the best form of practice is go and shoot competitions. Yeah.
But you can't train yourself to think about nothing.
No, you can't.
To get to that mental state where you're empty, that's a serious competitive mindset.
I think the only way to think of nothing is technically you're dead. But how you manage those thoughts and to keep it on is the key. And how I do it, without half the time I don't know, but if I do, it's because I'm going through the routine of what I do. That's how it comes.
So it's become natural over time, almost.
Definitely, people have got there quicker, but for me, you could say I'm a slow learner. It took me, over 15 years to get it right, or get it somewhere on a plane where I can shoot well with it. And that's where I'm at now.
There's a big question there. There's a good one. Are you willing to, or do you or don't you, make adjustments in the round of a comp? Oh,
yeah. Yeah. And sometimes it's been my downfall, and sometimes it's been the thing that's carried me through. I'm not afraid of change. It's whether it be glasses or anything like that. I think probably the most memorable one was there's a World Cup in Alain in 2013. That was when I did change my glasses. I knew that
I've been to that ground a lot now. That background's weird.
The light goes funny. The light goes funny when that sun starts going down. It's weird. And so I'm not nervous in changing anything,
Yeah.
or anything like that. And as I say, sometimes changing has been a bit of a downfall, and instead of having the confidence to carry it through what I was doing,
Yeah.
and believe in it, that's the thing.
Yeah, it's quite difficult, isn't it? When you get to the top levels, like where you're at.
Yeah,
See, when I'm teaching sporting, it's all about change. You missed it, change something. You missed it, change something.
yeah,
But when you're at the level you're at, you missed it, do it again.
yeah, exactly.
It's a completely different mindset.
Yeah, yeah, because the reason you can just think that, oh, something's going wrong, and it's because you've said that you've gone wrong.
Yeah.
You've lost that thing.
Yeah, because you missed one bird.
That train of thought. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's a completely different mindset from the two sports. You spoke about it earlier. Someone asked me about it on email, and it's just been asked now. Superstitions.
Yeah.
Talk us through them. Well, don't give weaknesses away, but
No. Superstitions. I think it's got to be from my mother. You know, from stupid things like going over train tracks, with your feet on the car floor. You know, you've got to lift your feet up as you go over train tracks. You know, it's just things like that. Whenever you see a lonely magpie, salute it, and and things like that. I don't know why, but you just do it. You know what I mean? It's just you just do it, and yeah. That's probably the strangest superstition I've got, is going over train tracks. Whenever I drive, I've got to take my feet off the floor.
oh God, I hope nobody breaks in front of you. What was quite interesting that with a lot of Olympic trap shooters have spoke to me about is the weighing of cartridges.
Yes.
Do you do it?
Got to.
Really?
You got to. We're in that fine line of being disqualified for no fault of your own.
Yeah, I've just been through that.
Yeah, it's, the manufacturers do their best, and of course, they do, but our pellets go here and there. They can be light, they can be heavy.
Yeah, James Willett said that he found more light than heavy.
Yeah, and I think this where that actually came from was when, I think you'd be all right with me saying it, was when David Kostelecki.
Yeah, James spoke about exactly the same thing.
Yeah, he got disqualified.
Yeah. And David Kirk did, remember?
The Commonwealths, yeah. And again, and the worst thing about this, and the way that it goes, you're it's kind of like you get a thing, you're a cheat,
yeah.
and you can't. Unless you're peeling them back, putting some more things in.
I find it bizarre.
Yeah.
That if you buy something, you cannot be held accountable for the person that built it.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. I find that bizarre.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a more of a manufacturer thing, because along the lines of when that thing happened with David, I think a lot of manufacturers got scared.
Yeah.
And they start underloading them.
Yeah.
And to cover themselves, but then obviously you're losing pellets. And that's
chip shoot, especially when it comes to the shoot off. In a shoot off, you only need powder, don't you?
We only need a pellet to go through to get powder. That's all we need. And so of course it's something we have to do. I was caught in a similar case at the Commonwealth Games in 2018. They took, as they always do, take cartridges in finals and weigh them. And they took apparently my cartridges. And look, this is no disrespect to any organisations or anything like that, but someone cocked up. When it come down to it, and first they said it was somebody else's cartridges, and then it came to me, and then they took me off and they disqualified me. And then someone said, but Aaron doesn't shoot black cartridges. They're white ones, they're golden trap. And then all of a sudden it goes away again, gets delayed. And of course this is all live, because it's Commonwealth Games.
Yes, yeah.
And it wasn't even my cartridges that were overweight. But then they cocked up that bad. They just went,
oh, forget it.
Oh, everyone shoot, So
go shoot something.
Exactly, yeah. So that was cock-ups happen. But yeah, and it can be. Just be careful. You got to be careful. You got to take. It's your career.
Yeah, I agree with it, but I can't. I understand it. Sorry, but I can't. I just can't believe that they can shift
the blame.
Yeah, I mean, if you had a good lawyer, mate, trust me, I know what good lawyers can get you off with. And if a good lawyer could took that to court, there's no way that could stand up. No way.
Yeah, 100%. No, I completely understand.
Right, off this humongous list you typed me earlier. I ask everybody this. I want to know what your best win is so far. Take the quota place away. We've spoke about that.
Yeah.
What your best win is, but then also what your best memory is, which might not be a win.
So, the best memory, and it's kind of poignant at this moment, was winning the World Cup in 2013. It was a terrible time in my life for personal reasons and everything like that, and it was, I'm gonna be honest, it was completely unexpected for me until we got into the finals.
Yeah.
And the reason why it's most poignant is because, God rest his soul, Kevin Gill was there, and his first words were to me after the first round was, "Well, this is not going too well, really. You shot 23, and there's so many people shot straight. You know what I mean? It's just like, just come on. You know you can do it. You know you can do well, but you're on the back foot here." And it was just like, okay, cheers, Kev, and let me get on with it. And we pulled through and got there, and obviously he was there, the first person there to congratulate us when we got the goal. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And the next one, biggest win. Talk me through the Com Games, because that's a big event.
That's got to be that's to this day that's the most enjoyable and the memorable one. The 2010 Delhi Commonwealth Games.
He did say earlier, my greatest memory ever is meeting my wife, but I'm not allowed to say that because it's a shooting show. So I help you out there, mate.
Cheers, Ben.
So talk me through the Com Games, mate.
Yeah, well, it actually started at the pre-Commonwealths, the test event. They just they refurbished that range, and if anyone's been to India, they try their best, but sometimes it was a little bit dangerous.
And the food shit.
Yeah. and we got to the final, and I was shooting pretty well, and I come away with silver. I was beaten by Manav Sandhu. And obviously on his home turf, and I came home, and don't get me wrong, I was happy with silver, but I knew that I could do better. Yeah, do you know when?
Well, if you got silver and didn't think you could do better, you might as well jack it, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly.
You might as well just walk away from it.
Yeah, and then so come into the Commonwealth Games, I just had this overwhelming feeling that, God, I didn't know what the feeling was, but I just knew that when I had the gun in my hand on that range, I could point the gun the other way. I could turn it upside down. I could put it between the right, and it was just gonna break.
Yeah.
And I shot 1, 2, 3 out 1, 2, 5 in the qualification, and tied with Manav from India. Michael was just behind me by 1, and Adam as well, Adam Vella. So it was an all-star cast in that 6-man final.
So that's as good as a World Championship final. That's as good as an Olympic final.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, if you've got Sandhu, you've got Vella, you've got Diamond, you've got Heading. That's what I was trying to explain to people earlier on. A World Cup, sometimes it's as hard to win as an Olympics.
Exactly.
You know, it's different. Like if we go and shoot the Spanish FITAS Grand Prix, which is basically what you're doing, a World Cup in Spain.
Yeah.
To us, that's a nothing event. All you've done is beat some Spaniards and nobody else. But a World Cup event in ISSF is a huge deal.
Massive.
Yeah.
Massive, yeah, without a doubt. You know, it's everyone's, it's their best.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's country's selection procedure is not as just like ours, but sometimes it's more stringent.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So you take the Italians when it comes into it.
But it's the worst thing with the Italians. Like, I've got a good friend from Italy that I used to shoot a lot of fit ass with. Is David Gasparini.
Yeah,
I think you know him as well.
Yeah, I know you. Yeah.
So I've just been watching a World Cup event with him on it. So he wasn't meant to go. The guy pulled out, and in the Italian rule books, it says they send 9 and 10.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Well, that's a dangerous situation, because now you've got a guy with nothing to lose.
Yes.
I'd rather shoot against number 2 than number 9.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
2's got pressure, 9 don't care.
No, he's there for the. He's having a good time.
And he got the bronze medal. I've just been watching it, and he was like, he's got nothing to lose. I'm not even meant to be here. So carry on, talk us through the 1, 2. So you shot 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and and then so getting to the final, and I was in second place technically to start with, but kind of just got a little bit too careful on the first bird, and it was just like, well. And it was that moment, like what you just said. Well, I've got nothing to lose.
Yeah,
I mean, this could be it in my shooting career. You know, I could never make it games again. So let's make it a one that we can remember.
Yeah.
Got into the routine, and it was just perfect. It was just.
Do you watch the scoreboard, Aaron?
No, I don't. No, I don't watch the scores. It sounds a little bit weird, but I kind of got the scoreboard in my head.
Yeah.
So I know where everybody is.
Yeah.
Even though, and it sounds like I'm concentrating on that, but I'm not. It's just there. I just know what's going on, you know.
And so we missed the first bird out, and then when did you realise then? At which point did you think, fuck, that's a com gold?
Those last 5.
Yeah.
Those last 5. It was, and there was peg 1. I knew I had a particular bird.
So you know what's coming. You're
odd times. Not every time. I don't go out purposely to know what my last 5 are.
Yeah.
But for some particular reason, I just remember this particular bird, and I don't know if it was the trap undid itself or what it did, but it was just sharp. And I was like, okay, well, I hit it the first time. So we'll know it again. And then remember I told you about earlier where you call for a target?
Yeah. Oops.
Well, that was that moment. That was that target. That was the I called Paul, and it's like, it's there.
Here it goes.
And it's like the whole world just slowed down. It's just like, well, we've got to move to this. Come on. Come on, you need this. And it's like, okay, let's just do it. Boom. And this big puff of pink smoke just was. And then it was just then I just thought, I'm going to win this. That was the moment where I just went, I've won it.
So for the people that don't understand, so Aaron's on peg 1. He's got 3 machines in front of him. He's going to get 2 birds go to the left, 2 birds go to the right, and 1 bird goes straight. So what Aaron knew was he'd had the straight, he'd had 1 left-hander, and he's had 2 right-handers. So on his last pass, he knew he had this bird coming. That's what he was explaining to me.
Yeah, it was the right. Yeah, I knew I had this right target.
Right. So yeah.
And it was just that, and it just emphasised that moment. No matter where I put that gun, it was just going to break.
Yeah.
And that was that defining thing. And with those 3 targets left, I just know that I was just going to win.
And how did you win? How did you win by?
I won. By 1. Just that 1.
Did you have to hit your last bird to win, or did somebody else have to? So you had to hit the last bird to win.
I had, because Michael shot 24 as well.
Right.
And it was only because qualification, he shot 1-2-2 and I shot 1-2-3.
Right.
And it was just that. That was the reason he shot 24 as well, and he missed. I think it was within like 8 targets to go. He missed 1.
Right.
But I didn't.
What was your last bird?
Straight away. Straight away. And sometimes everyone says it's the easiest. It's not. It's sometimes the hardest because you can hold on to it. You can just do it all sorts to it. You can do a million things. But I could just see that was slow motion. It was just like I just had. As I was pulling the trigger, I just went, yeah. And then it just boom.
Well, mate,
Yeah, quality.
I know you've got work at 7.
Yeah.
So just to wrap this up, mate, look, I'm British. I'm super proud of your career. When I see this, when I look at this list, mate, it's overwhelming. You know, you're a legend of British shooting, and you're still not that old. You've got far more in front of you. And mate, I hope you bring back. You know, we're going to the Olympics. Let's bring back some medals. Hopefully, it's gold. But I think everybody on here is proud of you, mate. And thank you so much for giving up an hour of your time to come and have a chat with a fat old sporting shooter.
Cheers, mate.
So,
thanks ever so much.
We're gonna, just before we go, this one's gonna end. I will restart another one, and then we'll bring Aaron's coaching and find out what he's really like. So, mate, you take care. Thank you so much for coming on.
Too.
All right, pal.
Cheers, Ben.
Ta-da, mate.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.